In the outback, undercover, I stand corrected. You have seen through this sheet of light.
All right. I'm making Paul do all the work because I'm just a lazy SOB. But here's our room. And now, look at all the space. Man, if I only had to put a guitar and a microphone in here, I'd have all the space in the world, right? This is good. And then here are his homemade panels that are going to go up on the wall. We've also got a couple of pro jobbies here, but these homemade panels are going to be perfect. And then a couple of the pads are going to go along the back wall. And we may have to cut or slice something just to get these things mounted, but we'll deal with that when we get to it. It's all going to depend on what the room sounds like as we go. That's a nice little window. Now, what would be really cool is if the other side of this window had a sound booth. Wouldn't that be cool? Dude, you need to do some major cleaning. Look at that. I'm not going to tell him I did this. I'm just going to let him see it in the video.
Just set that out there.
Oh. Thanks. Now he's making me do stuff. Hell. Just a consultant. No, actually, we're going to start building cutting the wood and building the new console. And this console here is 24 inches deep from this edge to the wall. And we're going to build a console to go from here 81 inches down to that side. Speakers are going to get mounted on the outside of the center rack that's going to go in the middle where his Persona sound card is going to go. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, he is a Studio One user, thanks to yours truly. And
I like it.
And he likes it.
I like it a lot.
Yes. And now that he's going to have a machine that'll actually run it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the other one is a Pentium 4, but it's like only like a 1 gigahertz deal.
We'll grab that black paint. I don't know if that's gonna.
Well, we can check it out.
Yeah.
So, what do you think so far, Paul?
I think it's gonna be real good once it's done, man.
Yeah. Look at that. I want everybody to see what it looks like before it actually goes into the room.
That's exciting. The half-ass redneck. This is a redneck studio console right here.
Yep.
Made out of strictly recycled wood. I mean,
Right.
all this wood here was all free.
Yeah, and
That came from that big pile over there.
that was the pile I showed everybody at the beginning of the video here, and
Sure.
and it
Everybody's
is
excited to know that.
yes, yeah, exactly, and
Hey, this is called studio construction on a dime.
literally, actually, we might be on a nickel at this point.
Budget studio.
The budget
construction.
studio console. So the other ingredients that we're going to have here is we got some plywood. You can see how we've got some of these pieces actually hodgepodged. We're getting some black paint now, and we're actually going to see if we can desperately hide all of the imperfections, and there are a lot of them as far as the surface of the wood goes. And yes, folks, we are going to attempt a tabletop made of drywall, because it's all we have. This is the low cost, economical kind of a thing. Now, no, we're not going to actually set everything on the drywall. The final product will actually have a sheet of laminate or paneling, a nice paneling, finished wood type of paneling on top of the drywall to actually, finish it off. But right now, this is the pieces and stuff that we have. And now, it's time, for lack of a better word, it's time to wash the wood. How's it going there, Picasso?
Looking pretty good for a. Let's see, how much is this thing going to cost us when it's all said and done?
Actually, we actually might make money on this.
I think the screws were probably about. I'm saying about maybe 10 cents for all the screws.
Okay.
The wood was all salvaged.
Okay.
It was all free. I got it. Every piece on here was free wood, and we even had to get creative here because one of the pieces was split. So we put a little patch on there.
Right. Look at that.
To help that out.
Yep.
And the drywall was the only piece that I ended up, that I'm sure I bought that. And
right.
That was probably $6. So call it $6.10.
There you go.
For a console.
$6.10 for a console. That's it. And if you look at it from afar, now granted, from afar, I mean,
don't look close.
Yeah, well, actually, from afar it looks perfect. Up close, it actually looks really, really good.
But in a dark studio where there's not that much light to begin with,
right,
it'll look pro.
It's gonna really look good. Yes, exactly. So
I think that's it for the paint job, huh, John?
Yep. No, I think it looks really good. Now, if you look at the back, this is kind of like the before and after. Now, this looks really, really good. I am more happy about this than I even thought. That we found a can of, well, it's supposed to be black paint, but there's about 3 inches of goop on the bottom, so it ended up gray.
Yeah. So another freebie here.
Yes, another freebie, a free can of paint. Definitely not the color on the can. In fact, the label on the can is darker than the paint itself. Imagine that. But so now the only thing left is mounting the 2 legs that we have painted. They're going to dry. We're going to grab something to eat. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to bring the console into the room. And since the wood is warped and stuff, getting exact measurements is, you know, basically pushing on a rope. So we're actually going to cut the legs and trim them down to fit once this thing is actually in the room.
Yeah, although we're going to put squares of foam underneath the legs, which will...
That'll take care of any size variations between the 2 sides, right?
Exactly, and it'll protect the floor.
Yep. So, yeah, the floor especially, it's got those nice wood floors. But I wanted to show it one more time because the paint's just about dry now, and we haven't left for dinner. We were doing cleanup. So there she is. And now, when the legs are actually mounted, basically like those right there, I'm going to go ahead and bring her inside. And, or actually, no, I take that back. We're not going to bring it inside. We're actually going to bring the table without the legs, the front legs, bring it inside, and then custom cut it. Dinner time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Paul's studio. I'm going to take some shots with just the lamp in here for the ambiance feel. But here, I'm going to move the chair out of the way. There is our Studio One console. Look at that. It's beautiful. He's got his speakers right next to it. Now he's got a tabletop. And yes, that is the sheet of drywall, Paul, as you can attest to.
That's the drywall.
That's the drywall. And it worked beautifully. So that is how this looks. Okay, go ahead and turn on the upper light so that they can actually see everything. There we go. So that's what it looks like with the ceiling light on. There's the new computer down there. And now I'm going to show you guys the soundproofing we put up. And they are made of
mineral wool. It's actually called Roxol.
Okay.
And apparently it absorbs low frequencies quite a bit better than foam does. That was really the main selling point.
Right, and especially in a small room where you have speakers this large, you're going to have a lot of bass, and you really want to keep it under control, because then anything that you mix in here on a room with too much bass response is going to not have enough bass when it gets out of here, because you'll be turning it down and making the adjustment. You don't want to do that. So now we put 2 diamond-shaped, those are what? 2x2 squares up on the wall here. We put 2 diamond shape behind him for the rear panel absorption, you know, for his head. Kind of, they're more like diffusers. Then he's got his corner area right here with his stool and the mic stand with the microphone filter, and then 2 pieces of the Auralex style soundproofing in the back, so that all he has to do when he's ready to do his vocal, back the stand away, hit the seat, or just stand up and do his vocal tracks right here. And then we have this corner here. This is going to be kind of like a storage corner. And you guys wouldn't believe the difference it made just hanging up a couple of these smaller panels. We were still having kind of roomy kind of sound issues. And of course, these weren't actually put up in any mathematical fashion. We just we put them up with what looked pretty and hoped for the best. And we actually lucked out because it really helped. We're going to need some low sound absorption for the bottom of the rooms. and maybe something over here. What he's going to put in this corner right here is a small pegboard with a bunch of different kinds of hooks so he can hang his cables. Now he has room for his mic stands to squirrel away, and he can just pull them out as he needs. And actually, if he does it right and sets up the microphone, he can just leave the microphone set up once it's there, roll his chair over there, do his guitar tracks, and actually roll back to the console. So it's really, really nice. Now this little room here is his closet. And we could have used this for a sound room, but for a one-man studio that probably won't have more than 2 people in it, we didn't really see the need, at least yet. But he's got a couple extra panels that he can use if he needs to. And eventually he's going to have to do something with sound support in this room, because the acoustic sense in this room is going to affect the outer room if he starts doing a lot of loud stuff in here. So, but he knows what he has to do. There's a trick to the store. Ouch, I just pinched my fingers. All right, so there. Now, all of these panels are held up by a single nail, and then just kind of shish kebabbed right onto the back of the panel. And that's it, folks. Paul, you like?
Love it.
It's very, very cool.
Very nice. Way more space in here. Can actually get around without tripping over mic stands and all of that. Thanks to my good buddy John here.
Well, thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. And the sound in this room from when we started as to now, it's a drastic difference. Is it perfect? No. We didn't pay a guy here a bunch of money to do some mathematical computations to figure out where the panels go. But it's all about the room support. You can clap in the room. You don't get any flutter echo. It's live enough for like congas and any kind of percussion, yet it's dead enough for acoustic guitar tracks. And with this added corner here that he can just pretty much, you know, squeeze into and actually do his vocal tracks, it's good enough for a good, dry, in-your-face vocal. So that's it. This has been Johnny Geib here, and this is Paul. And this is what we've done to his studio. Hope you guys got something from it. Again, we didn't. We broke some rules and made up some of our own, but I think we accomplished what we set out to do.
Keep on building it, yeah. What do you do when they laugh at you? Keep on building. When everything goes wrong, takes you 4 times as long. Keep on building. You're gonna find a way, no matter what they say.
All right, I just wanted to do one more review here on the building of Paul's studio. This is a song that he recorded with the old setup, and we just did some work on exactly what was going to be recorded. It sounds fantastic. And the room looks damn nice. So we've got everything in here. We've already done some mic tests for percussion and for acoustic guitar. Everything sounds fan-damn-tastic. He's got tons of floor space, and of course you're looking at this thing. That's not a lot of space. Well, you should go back to the beginning of the video series and see what we had when we started. This is actually miles of room compared to what we had, and we brought in an extra chair. So the studio is complete. Oh, there's Paul. Now he's in a sweatshirt because it got so damn cold outside. And he's got his cool guitar. Look at that. He's got his cool console, and he's ready. He's ready. This guy's gonna make a hit album. That's what I think. Yeah, he's really excited. And there you have it, folks. We made something out of nothing. You got to admit. I don't think we had one brand new piece of anything in this for this whole setup. So, all right, now this is my official goodbye. Thanks for watching.